Hi everyone, my name is Runjugi Ian Andrew, and if you're watching this, thank you very much. Now you know my face. Now, today I came across a statement somewhere, and it was the best time to do something or anything is either now or 10 years from now. Now, I've been meaning to shoot a lot of YouTube content and put it out there, as most of the people that are maybe watching this, I am a gym rat, and I've been meaning to put out a lot of fitness content, because this is my passion, and I've been constantly postponing it because there's always a problem here. There's always some issue going on there, and it's easier to, it's easier to find excuses not to than to do it. But today being November 1st, I figured that there's no better way to begin than with the beginning of the month, and this is gonna be the first video that I actually shoot professionally with this mic that I'm holding. I love this mic, and here we go. So the first video, what you're watching right now, is a beginner's guide to fitness. So basically, these are just 5 to 6 tips that I came up with that I feel that would be really helpful or beneficial to that individual who wants to kickstart their fitness journey or wants to just start but doesn't know where to begin, or basically doesn't know where to start. So this is just the first of many videos like that. And without further ado, here we go. Now, tip number 1. Whenever I get a client or a person who's inquiring on the same, the first thing I always ask them to do is get happy, get deliberately happy. And a lot of that has to do with a lot of mindfulness. So what I mean with that is, just if you feel the compulsion to get fitter, be realistic with where you're at, rather than shoot yourself down over the fact that, oh my god, my stomach hides my whatever, or basically pointing out all the flaws that you have. I'm too skinny, I'm too this, I'm too that. I always urge them to get not comfortable per se, but content with the fact that that's where they're starting from. Because the fact that if the sooner they appreciate that's where they're starting from, the sooner they can envision where they could head to. And with that, regardless of whether you get there or not, you'll still be a whole person that's happy. And that's important. And happy is not a consistent state. It's more consistently affirm yourself that you make that insecurity that you may or may not have to become a strength, or not to have as many debilitating effects as it does have on you. And I think that's pretty much it. So a second thing that comes in really handy when you're trying to get fitter is figure out what you like, right? Figure out what you really like. For example, there's very many ways to get fit. People have this assumption that the fittest people are those that you see at the gym every day, that lifting. That's nonsense. That is not what fitness is. Fitness is, to me, a journey that you walk towards consistently. Because you can't argue that Eliud Kipchoge is fit, but then argue that Thor Bjornsson, that's one of the strongest men on the planet, is not fit, because they're just fit in different regards. Olympic runners are fit. 100-meter runners are fit. So basically, it's a spectrum of fitness, and it's an idea of improving your fitness levels and your health levels, because that's a direct benefit of just trying to improve it. And for that reason, I feel it's important that for people to find out what they really, really like. I have clients that come to me who really want to join the gym, but they find that weightlifting is really just not their thing, and it doesn't have to be your thing. Pick up cycling. It will give you just as much, reward. Pick up yoga. Here's the thing. I love bodybuilding. And realistically speaking, I'm 5 foot something. I'm never gonna become like one of those, super big people. But at the end of the day, I do still get the benefits that I could get with my body with that regard. So pick out something you love, be willing to do the work, and just go for it. Just begin. Now, the third thing that I would advise, or just want to throw out there for a person to consider, is set goals. Now, goals don't necessarily have to be mainstream goals. They just have to be SMART. SMART as an acronym. Goals have to be specific. If you want to lose weight, that's your goal. If you want to gain weight, that's your goal. But then these goals also have to be more than just gain, lose, whatever, because they have very, very many facets towards them. So for example, a goal needs to be specific. I want to lose weight. A goal needs to be measurable. Measurable, for this point, you need to measure your goals differently, right? I find a holistic approach much more appropriate. If you want to lose weight, say you're maybe 100 kilos, you want to get to 90, and you want to measure these goals, you can, for me, I find that it's easier if you measure them this way. I have lost this much weight, right? But if you pick one one way of measuring whether you're achieving your goal, you may find yourself to be very frustrated because these things are affected by so many other things. So even as you're measuring your goals, you, for example, for your weight loss, pick out something like the numbers. Check the number of the weighing scale, it won't kill you. Check out the inches you're losing. Sometimes your body composition changes and your weight stays the same. Pick out the mirror. And then something as simple as, how do you feel? All these things are measurements of whether you're actually walking towards your goal. Because as long as you're making progress towards it, the more that's good enough. You can increase that pace, you can reduce that pace, but you're making progress, which is the goal. Goals also have to be attainable. I mean, realistically speaking, like I mentioned about myself, I love the idea of bodybuilding. I lift weights, like I lose myself at the gym. It's really my happy place. And but I'm not, don't get me wrong, I'm not delusional. I am 5'5", yes. For those of you that thought I was any bigger than that, I am 5'5". There is no practical way, unless I got on like a ridiculous steroid cycle, that I'm gonna weigh 90 kilos of pure lean muscle. It's just unattainable, and it's not something I would even bother getting towards. But a goal that's more attainable than that would be, can you lift heavier than you did yesterday? Can you lift it faster? Are you stronger? Do you feel better? Those are ways how those are the ways I approach my goals. So it has to be attainable. And similarly, for a person trying to lose weight, if at all that's your other, progression. If you weighed 100 kilos, you're not gonna get to 40 kilos in 2 weeks. I mean, you can if you just, got Friday the 13th and have someone sever some parts of you, but you want to be alive. So be realistic. I feel that, and this is just free advice, if you want to lose weight, pick something realistic such as this. Lose half a pound a week. Or lose a pound a week if you can, if you're on the higher level. A half pound a week would put you at losing about 3,500 calories a day. I mean, a week, which is not so bad, because that's a pound, actually. So yeah, that's something. Pick relevant goals that are actually relevant to what you want, goals that can actually be attained, goals that actually matter. You don't decide that your goal is to lose weight, but then part of that same goal is to be able to lose weight while eating, say, about excess calories than you would require previously. Basically, you're just shooting yourself in the head, or if not the foot, that is. It doesn't make sense. Goals also should be time-based. For me, about 14 to 16 weeks of trying something should be relevant enough for you to have seen progression towards a certain direction. So you need to pick out a realistic timeline and make sure that you can get as close to your goal for the time frame as you can till then. Now that was all in the setting goals part. Oof, I can talk, right? Now, fourth and most important point is fix your diet. Nobody's getting fat because they're not drinking enough green tea or they're not wearing the right belt. Fix your diet. First of all, and this is gonna get, whatever. None of those diets work. Literally none. Well, I should put it differently. All those diets that are supposed to cause you to lose weight, that are supposed to cause you to lose, I don't know, I went keto, I did this. All this shit works on one single principle. Get into a calorie deficit. Basically, get more energy into you, more than you put out of you, you gain weight. You put out more energy than you put into you, you lose weight. It's that simple. Even if you were to take up intermittent fasting, at the end of the day, what you're doing is that you're taking in less calories than you would be ordinarily. If your calorie intake is 2,000 calories per day, and I take those 2,000 calories in 6 meals, right? And then you go and take your own OMAD, 1 meal a day diet, and then you take the 2,000 calories a day, in one meal. You've not lost more weight. You've not necessarily gone quicker towards your weight loss diet than I have. We are gonna remain the same weight, because at the end of the day, your body looks at it holistically. You can't. What matters is your expenditure at the end of the week. So yes, you may choose these diets because they just resonate well with you. So yes, go for it. But at the end of the day, your diet, with regards to how many calories you're taking in, is what's going to determine your weight gain or weight loss. But that being said, this may not be your goal. I feel it's important that people prioritize nutrition more than they prioritize comfort. What I mean by that is, make sure you're getting a balanced meal. There is no food for you that is really bad for you, unless you're taking poison. I mean, who has been, some people villainize foods like carbs as if anyone is taking cyanide. It's not cyanide. Just take all the foods you need. They may make you feel good, but take everything in moderation. So be very consistent with how many calories you take on average, and you'll find that I'll get to still eat rice, but that's because I know how many calories I'm taking in a day, and I can actually still lose weight and taper down slowly. It's a marathon. Well, yeah, it's a marathon. It's not a race. Just keep going there. It's an ultra marathon even. Take as much time as you need, but just fix your diet. And everyone knows that one habit that they are doing that's really hard. Just pick out better alternatives, because some foods arguably have more calories than others. Not all foods are made, alike. But here's a good rule of thumb. Carbs generally have 4 calories per gram. Proteins have the same, and fats have 9 calories per gram. If you decide to go mix all of them up, it becomes way harder to estimate how much you're eating. So just make wiser food choices and educate yourself on the same. And the educate part of that statement, watch these videos. I'm going to tell you more about those in other videos. Now, the fifth thing I'd like to advise a person to do with regards to starting their fitness journey is to simply start. Just start. Gym intimidation is an actual thing. Gym intimidation is that feeling of when you want to start something new. It could be a spin class. You ever walked into a spin class and everyone was just going bananas? Or you got a trainer and the first thing they did for you on your first workout day, they hammered the hell out of you, and you just couldn't show up the next day because it feels like it's just really traumatizing. Gym intimidation is really that. When you walk into a gym and just see everyone, the first person you see that, realize that all those people in there, much as they could be very loud with their personalities, are just in there trying to make themselves better. And that's exactly the same reason you came to that gym for. And that could also be your yoga session. I'm very intimidated by yoga sessions because I know I'm the least flexible. But now I walk into them and I'm like, namaste. And then namaste. And things go well. I still can't touch my toes, but at least I'm doing something towards that regard. So just start, and you'll realize that most people are going to support you. Believe me, nobody sees a bigger than average person running on the road and thinks to themselves, oh my god, what do you think you're doing? The truth of the matter is, if that's what they feel, then they're a shitty person that you should not be engaging with in any case. So just go there, struggle on that treadmill, take the high fives that you'll get from most people that will be going, hi, how you doing? Because at the end of the day, you're running, you're running towards your goal, and that's what's most important, right? So I don't know who this video is gonna get to, but just take this for what you will. Follow me on all my social media platforms. I'm gonna transform them into all just mostly this sort of content rather than just I look good and anything. And tell a friend to tell a friend. If you wanna converse more, if you wanna chit chat more, you know how to hit me up. And that's it for video 1. It's still recording.